Afternoon sunlight washes over a K-Drive crossing as I pause my daily happenings to watch what I thought would be an ordinary intermodal. Little did I know just how extraordinary this train time would turn out to be. My mind is racing. Was that? It was! The BNSF warbonnet, the magnum opus of all railroad paint schemes. My afternoon plans are unceremoniously shoved aside as I jump into the car and ferociously race to intercept at the next crossing. This is now a train chase. Fortunately for me, a glance down the line at Allen Street revealed that my rushing was not in vain. I beat the train. Unfortunately, I beat it because it was no longer moving. No longer concerned about missing the warbonnet, I observed my surroundings. Allen Street, a usually peaceful crossing, was alive with activity. High railers and maintenance of way equipment dotted the line. Construction was afoot. All this activity must be what's holding up our train. And with all the red signals, it didn't look like our train was moving anytime soon. With nothing left to do, I decided to use the sudden surplus of time to stake out a filming spot in the bustling downtown sector of Easley. I didn't know what to expect to see in Easley, but it certainly wasn't this. A maintenance of way militia was hard at work replacing railroad ties along the line. Machine after machine passed me by as I gazed on in utter fascination. Never before had I seen such a large ensemble of railway equipment. For such complicated-looking machines, it turns out each one has a relatively simple task to complete. Take, for example, this tie plate cutter. It is a proficient in completing a singular step in the larger overall project. Despite their personal individuality, these machines collectively function together, each serving as an important contributor to this carefully orchestrated construction chaos. Up the line, we see another example of orchestrated chaos. This tie crane selects, organizes, and finally positions new railroad ties for installation by the tie replacer and railroad spike machine, both of which are following directly behind. Using a keen and well-trained eye, the operator is very selective about which ties are to be used and which are to be disregarded. It is this attention to detail which ensures the tie replacement is successful in the long term. With tracks bordered directly by a paralleling fenced sidewalk, Easley's railroad construction observation opportunities are unrivaled in South Carolina. And what better machine to prove my point than the tie replacer? By far the most entertaining maintenance of way machine working today, the tie replacer's job is just that, to grab new ties, align them correctly, and then violently shove them into place. It's as simple as that. All this track maintenance explains why the train I was chasing had yet to move. And as zesty as railroad construction can be, I was here for the warbonnet. So I decided to head back up the line to where I believe the warbonnet was stopped. Parallel to the tracks was a Walgreens parking lot. Hoping to photograph the locomotives, I walked to the end of the parking lot to a trackside overlook, only to hear the unmistakable sounds of a Graham White E-bell. The train was on the move. Switched onto the number 1 track, our train was operating under severe speed restrictions. This lack of speed, while inconvenient for the railroad, was something I planned to take full advantage of. Back in the car, I raced back towards downtown Easley. The warbonnet moving cautiously allowed me to overtake it at Dennis Drive crossing. Despite slight traffic signal delays, I was soon well ahead of the train. The chase was in my favor. Downtown Easley seems like a logical place to set up shop, so that's just what I did. Despite an approaching train, construction never slowed down as crews continued to diligently replace railroad ties. It took about 10 minutes for the train to make its visual appearance, about twice as long as it normally does. Yet despite its slow speed, the warbonnet was moving nonetheless, and it was eager to make its presence known. The double-stacked intermodal containers dwarf the maintenance of way equipment. The size contrast really helps explain why our train is operating just so cautiously. If something went wrong, it would really go wrong. When chasing freight trains, waiting for the end of the train is not a luxury you can afford, particularly when you're on the Greenville drag. Today's train race is a fine example of a Greenville drag chase, the chasing of a train along the collection of crossings, bridges, and overlooks known as the Greenville drag. We started at K Drive Crossing and worked our way south along the line, hitting drag destinations such as Allen Street Crossing and downtown Easley along the way. After Easley, the drag's destination density drastically decreases, but despite this, there is still one crossing available to hit, Enon Church Road. Located directly at the Mettler Signal and Milepost, Enon Church Road is one of a handful of destinations along the drag which features fully visible signal masts, a very useful feature indeed. Throughout my drag chase, the bright afternoon sun has sabotaged shot after shot. This zoom view is no different, as the sunlight causes overexposure. Fortunately, train chases allow for multiple attempts at capturing that perfect video, a rarity in the railroad world. Yet another unobstructed straightaway reveals just how lengthy freight trains can be. Even with my camera, I am hard-pressed to spot the end of this train. Enon Church Road is a small rural crossing which provides road access to a number of small homes and businesses nestled in the forest. Unfortunately for the residents of these homes, they will have to go the long way round. Enon Church Road is closed, rendered impassable due to the tie maintenance project. Despite our train's length, slow speed, and large stature, it was nevertheless making headway, and soon it was gone altogether. That marked the end of today's unexpected train chase down the Greenville drag. Enon Church Road was once again isolated, and my homecoming was long overdue. So with nothing else to chase, I wish you well, till our paths cross again.